Welcome everyone to game number 1 of the first series of the day. Dark versus BacT. We're gonna have BacT in the blue color and Dark was playing green. We have turned them over to the red color. And they're gonna be towards the southeast and northwest of the map. BacT specifically will be playing with Kumans. So you can expect him to go out to the fuel H extremely quickly and make the attempt to play for full economy, right? Meanwhile, Dark, on the other hand, is probably going to try to fast gas into full economy as well, but it's going to be catching up. BacT Civilization will have the ability to go for a second TC in the fuel H. He's going to have the ability to go for siege workshops in the fuel H, from where he can train battering rams. Besides that, BacT's Civilization will also give him a 75 wood discount on stables and archer ranges, in addition to access to the Captram upgrade in the Castle H. And for the team bonus, finally, well, for the team bonus, Cummins will have 33% extra HP on Palisade Wall Switch. You might be the wiser to realize it's not really going to matter on a map like this, right? You already begin surrounded by stone walls, so it doesn't matter. For Dark Civilization, on the other hand, Mayans will be no strangers to Fortress. We have seen the Civilization in Fortress back in the day a lot. This one, Vikings, the Chinese, right? Even Teutons. And they're back now. They're back in Fortress. And the Mayans will begin with 1 extra villager, albeit at the expense of 50 food at the beginning of the game. But they will also have 15% longer lasting resources, 10, 20, and 30% cheaper archer units in the field, castle, and Imperial Ages. Well, for the team bonus, finally, we're going to see Mayans get also a 40% discount on walls, and that's going to be about it for both these players. The map generation usually doesn't really matter quite as much on Fortress because of all the different defenses and the fortifications providing protection everywhere, right? So I don't think it's going to matter. It's very unlikely we're going to see anyone try to go forward like a Drush or anything like that. And yeah, it's just going to be a game of waiting. BacT gets to the fuel H and should be going for the second TC right away, and he's going with 7 villagers for the second TC. And Dark should be on his way to the fuel H very soon, and he's gonna just try to fast castle. So by the time he gets to the fuel H, BacT is already going to get probably a 1, probably a 2 villager lead over Dark. Actually, depends on how quickly he can get the TC up, and assuming that he's able to keep it working from the very beginning, it's probably going to be more like a 3 villager lead, perhaps even 4, right? Yeah, the TC is coming up really quickly, actually. Yeah, but it's going to be 3 at most. In any case, Dark will fast castle, and he will go for extra TCs, I would assume, in hopes of catching up to BacT's stronger economy by that point in time. However, so long as the blue player plays his cards right, he should be able to keep both DCs working, and that is absolutely instrumental. You take a look at this. 8 villagers queued up. Of course, that DC is not going idle anytime soon. None of these TCs is going idle anytime soon. Regardless. Fuel H is gonna be here for Dark. Yes, sir. There we go. Yeah, now we have the market. The blacksmith on the way, and it's gonna be a pretty standard fast castle for Dark. What would your predictions be in the series? My prediction is 2-0, or honestly, potentially even 3-0 in favor of BacT over here, mainly because of the performance of these players so far in the group stage. You know, it's been much better for BacT from what I can recall from the standings, and yeah, given the civilizations over here, we have seen Kumans work out pretty well in the past already on this map, and so long as BacT plays his cards right, should probably be able to take game number 1 over here, and games number 2 and 3 are going to be still kind of a mystery for now. Don't actually remember what the whole maps were, but in any case, the game has civilized now. BacT has even a garrison zone king, and no one is going to take any losses, so it's all good. Guess it's gonna be here for Dark very soon. BacT's already managed to get a 10 worker lead. By the time Dark gets to the Castle Age, BacT's villager lead is gonna extend to 14 extra workers. That is not really a lot. And it's not going to take too much for Dark to catch back up himself. Technically, right? He's gonna need to go for the additional TCs right away. He's got 1 stone miner in order to collect the remaining stone that he needs for the extra TC. Actually, not really sure why he has 10 less stone. I don't think he went for nice scout. Snipe over here from BacT, but yeah, I don't think Dark went for. And also, I'm not really sure why Dark actually committed to the engagement over here, but I don't think Dark had gone for an outpost, right? Or anything like that. Maybe he deleted some walls and then he had to go for those again. It would be cheaper for him. So I'm not really sure. Well, anyway, he does have the TCs on the way already. He does have the 200 stone that he needs. And one TC is going to be next to the wool line. The other TC is going to be next to the wool line and the gold. On the left and right hand sides respectively. Heavy plow on the way from Mr. Dark. Castle Age on the way now for BacT as well. Yes. Monastery on the way as well for Mr. Dark. Gonna try and collect the relics. We take a look at BacT, and obviously won't be able to go for a monastery until he gets to the Castle Age. Now, BacT's going up to the Castle Age, and Dark has 2 additional TCs already up. So long as the red player is able to keep these working, he should be able to catch up in villager count by the time BacT goes up to the Castle Age by about maybe that 6 villagers or so. So the villager lead over here, which is currently at 13 for BacT, is probably going to be reduced to about 7 extra workers only. That is not the best catching up that I have seen on this map in the past. You know, civilizations such as Bengali, civilizations such as the Chinese have really done a better job of keeping up with the humans for the most part. And Dark doesn't seem like he's got a save that's going to allow him to keep up quite as well at all. Anyway. Third TC is finally on the way now for BacT. Once he gets to the Castle Age, and wow! The villager lead has actually been reduced even further. Only 5 extra workers for BacT. Checking the gather economy time. Check this out. It's better for BacT, yes. By about half an hour right now. But it's nothing insurmountable, right? Dark is getting very close from catching up, and the reason why BacT got kind of caught up a little bit was because he did go for wheelbarrow earlier compared to Dark. Dark is going for wheelbarrow now, so that will allow BacT to at the very least try and hold on to the lead a little bit more. There we are. Extra walls coming out for Dark up in the north as well. A house of walls. Or a wall of houses, rather. We'll keep him kind of safe up in the north. There is definitely nothing that he'll have to worry about around here. Interestingly enough, he does have the king in this tower. Maybe not the best one for him to keep the king, but with the walls coming out, that's going to make it much harder for BacT to try and pull any shenanigans over here. Meanwhile, BacT is going for his own wall of houses on the left-hand side. He had to destroy the stone wall in order to go for the TC over here, and that will leave him open, so he kind of needs to get the walls over there in order to close himself up once again. And BacT manages to get one of Dark's monks, though. On the left-hand side, there was the red player trying to go for a relic. And now down south, it's going to be Dark, the one to try and guard the relic that I assume BacT will want to go and collect very soon. However, it seems like BacT is probably going to try to collect the relic on the right-hand side. Well, it's hard to tell. He's got one monk already moving over to the left-hand side, so he's going to try and collect the farthest relic. But he should also try and collect the ones close to his base as well eventually. And when is it going to do it? And where are the rest of the relics? So we have one on the left-hand side. We have one towards the south. We have one up in the north. And one towards the east. But the fifth relic I cannot see. Oh! BacT's got it already! He's got the monk carrying the relic. He's going back home now. And he will collect the first relic, and if all goes well, BacT is going to collect the second relic right now as well. And because of these two being so much closer to his base, he should be able to collect up to 4 relics himself. Let's skirmisher from Dark. Let's skirmisher, and BacT has gone for kip checks, right? And he's got the units already out. Dark can see this. He's got the skirmishers already to defend himself. This is usually not the way it goes. Usually you see the players try and play for the Imperial Age first and then try to go for some sort of aggression. Right now the players are going for some Castle Age units. But this is very unlikely to result in any lasting damage, as they will require trebuchets to get any real damage over here, of course, down. Stronger siege than what's available in the Castle Age, because of the presence of castles, right? And the Imperial Age is indeed on the way for BacT significantly earlier compared to Dark. This is what we said several times that commands are really good at, right? Going up to the Imperial Age earlier, taking advantage of the stronger earlier economy, and, you know, putting the aggression up once they get access to trebuchets. They can go in with the kip checks. I have a siege workshop on the way now for BacT as well. He could go for a couple rams and then go for the cap ram. Siege ram upgrades, we'll see what he goes for. But yeah, BacT is going to have a little time window where he's going to be in the Imperial Age and Dark is not. It will allow him to get the push going. And if he manages to get a few of the trebuchets out, assuming that he's got the resources to get the production going from both these castles, right? There is no way for Dark to, for instance, hold on to this castle, and if BacT gets away with the push, might be able to even play for a king snipe here. And Skirmisher seems like it just slows down the Mayan Imp and then dies to a random transition. Yeah, not even a random transition, right? Like this keep check with Imperial Age upgrades are going to take the Skirmishers down, no problem. And this is what I was waiting to see. Dark tried to go for the relic forward around BacT's base, and BacT actually did send some keep check, was able to get the monk down, was able to get the scout down. And I would assume that he knew about the scout over here after he lost his own villager trying to get the house wall up, right? So yeah, and down south, I think BacT... Did he get away with the relic, actually? I think he did, right? That's 3 relics for him already. And then there is this one up, and then there is this one over here. So that's going to be 5 relics total the BacT is going to collect if he does get away with it. But now there are more important things to pay attention to. The Imperial Age is here for BacT, and that means trebuchet production right away. Conscription's coming up as well. And Dark is 1 minute away from the Imperial Age himself. Meanwhile, BacT is going for chain bar and armor. He's going for the Cavalier upgrade, yes sir. And the transition you were expecting to see seems like it's going to arrive already. Trebuchet. He's taking the castle down. tower down as well. And there we are. Tower's going down first. BacT. He's gotta try and sustain the territory over here. Come on, he's bringing villagers. Yes, he's got enough resources to go for a fort castle, but he's gotta repair the trap. And they're so close! But he manages to get here at the last second. And here come the Cavalier guys. BacT's trying to breach through the gates. And I'm fairly surprised to see him go for this as opposed to try and go for the castle right away, right? But yeah, the skirmishers just got completely steamrolled over there. The Cavalier are just waiting for the gates to get breached so they can come in and start doing damage. And BacT's looking good. BacT's looking good. Meanwhile, Dark does seem to have enough time to go for the Halberdier upgrade at the very least 30 seconds. Doesn't seem like it's going to be enough for BacT to come in, but Dark, he needs the numbers as well. Right now, he's got 3 pikemen, so he's going to get the upgrade. Yes, he's going to have plate mail armor. But what will he do with it? Conscription is on the way. Dark is researching it with a castle up in the north. And this castle in front of his base is going down, guys. BacT is trying to breach through with the Cavalier. Elsewhere, and now Dark, he's gotten 45 walls. Is this going to make much of a difference? It shouldn't, right? We have 5 freaking churches. They will take the gate down pretty quickly anyway. It's like going to be like 3 volleys. And the gate will go down. Actually, it's going to be more like 2 volleys, it seems. Yeah, 2 volleys. And there we go. That gate. Oh, it's not going down. Missing some shots, I think. Well, he should be able to come in very soon. He's got the Cavalier moving over to the left-hand side. He's got the gate going down on the right-hand side. The extra Cavalier coming out over here as well. Trying to mass the units up before coming in. Probably waiting for the Paladin upgrade as well, which is going to be here in a minute and a half. Meanwhile, the Halberdier on the left-hand side from Dark are trying to provide some protection, but the villagers still crumbling. Dark has lost 7 eco units, 10 eco units already, 12 eco units, and it's not even the end of it. The Cavalier coming in already. Dark's managed to breach through, of course, on the left-hand side. He even paid attention and kept the gate open with the Cavalier as the villager was walking in, and there is no way BacT's paid attention over here at the exact right time. Yes, sir. Now Dark risks getting sniped over here once again. BacT plays his cards right, and he realizes about the king being garrisoned over there. He could make a play for the king snipe, but honestly, it might be the fastest and best way for him to secure a victory. Hey, Paige. Hi, hi. Welcome, welcome as well. Welcome back. Yeah, now we have Paladin. We have Paladin. Blast Furnace on the way also for BacT. The Kipchak are getting to good numbers too. That's gonna be for taking care of the Halberdier, of course. And he needs to make the move right now. He needs to go for it. If he doesn't, Dark might actually be able to stabilize over here. So he's got Eagle Warriors, right? He's got a lot of Halberdier defending against the Paladin. The Eagle Warriors are coming in. That's gonna be 3 trebuchets going down. Probably all 4 trebuchets going down over here from the ones that were still unpacked. And it's gonna be 3 in the end out of 5. But that's still 1,200 resources down the drain for Dark. See Bales from here. He gets the Elite Eagle Warrior upgrade. I don't think he's got the Dorado yet. He doesn't. BacT's going for Elite Kipchak. He's finally finishing researching Blast Furnace. And I'm still surprised that the Bull player is kind of ignoring, right, the tower. I think that's the only thing that he saw garrisoned. And he's still ignoring it. Let me check. Yeah, he should know. He should know better. He should know to try and take the tower down. This is Regicide after all. I don't know if this is that he just wants to take the game by a proper push and not rely on the king snipe. But certainly seems like an opportunity that he could have taken, and that is kind of going to waste right now. Meanwhile, Dark's going for iron casting. He's got El Dorado on the way as well. So these will be very soon fully upgraded Eagle Warriors. Well, not really. He needs to get also Blast Furnace, right? But he's going for it. We know that he's got the intention after going for iron casting, and that's going to be fully upgraded Eagle Warriors and Halberdier after he finishes researching this. Meanwhile, the castle's going down, of course. BacT gets another castle himself, the 4th castle up in the north. Dark is trying to get another castle up himself inside the walls. Very close to where he lost the first castle. And that's going to bring his castle count up to 2 once again, but shouldn't be too difficult for BacT to take those down. 200 population for the bull player. He's going to take care of this. Yes, sir. Eagle Warriors will end up taking 2 of the 3 trebuchets down, though. How many do we have left? 6. 6 Eagle Warriors. Oh! He gets all the trebuchets, the 3 trebs from BacT, and he's going to leave the blue player in only 1 trebuchet, kind of in the middle of nowhere. Potentially exposed. If we had still a few Eagle Warriors, that trebuchet would be gone already. It's not the case. Here we go. More trebuchets on the way for BacT. It's taken some time for him to replenish the siege weapons. He's got, after all, 200 population already. So every time that he loses units, he's got to be careful about what it is that he queues up. So he actually has the space to go for the stuff that he needs, right? And architecture is on the way now for Dark. Yeah, well, that's good. That means he's got an masonry already, and that is not the best castle location for BacT, given that he had the trebuchets, but he's going to relocate it right away, and now the castle's under fire. 150 population still for Dark, not the highest. Hey, Tail! Hi. Let's see you're streaming. Hello, chat. Hey. Welcome back. $150 pop versus Pala plus Cave Check plus Trebuchet. Yeah. It's a little bit of a precarious position for Dark, let's say. He's been struggling to mass the amount of units that he needed. He's trying to go for them. Production potential has not been the best. He's producing from 2 barracks, the Halberdier. And these go down to the Cave Check right away, right? Who's taking the castle down first? I think both castles are going down. BacT certainly does not have enough villagers to repair against 2 trebuchets. Dark certainly doesn't have enough to repair against 3 trebs. And wow, Lucho Javelineer just came in for Dark. That won't really make much of a difference. He's going for skirmishers right now, and yeah, that's going to be Simul Castle down for the guys. But yeah, Lucho Javelineer won't really do much for Dark in the end. Doesn't really have too many skirmishers to take advantage of right now, to take advantage of the upgrade, and the Cave Check are way too numerous for the skirmishers to work in low numbers, so he needs to go for more. He's going for extra units, but it's gonna take a while, right? Production potential is not the highest, and he's kind of trickling the units right now. Shouldn't be too difficult for BacT to take care of this. Yeah, even just with the Cave Check, right? Surely those 4 elite skirmishers will clear the Peony Paladins. Surely. Trish is going down now from Dark as well. And what do we have left for Dark, if not pain and suffering in this life? The next castle is being targeted. That's going to be the final castle left for Dark. You know, the final standing. Yeah, and he goes on to call the GG before losing the final fortification over here. He would be left on Leon Towers. The king would be much more exposed, right? Without the castles slowing down the push from BacT, and in the end, it's going to be 1-0 in favor of the Vietnamese player. Let's go through the achievements. We'll see first off. For military, better KD ratio for BacT by a lot. For economy, on the other hand, we have a stronger economy for BacT as well. A lot of extra resources collected for him. The KD is, yeah, over 2-1. The extra economy is going to surpass. Actually, 16,000 extra resources. Gets very close to 17,000 extra resources. And for society, close to 16,000, sorry. And then for society, we're going to have a stronger villager max count for BacT, while losing the fewest villagers throughout the game. And you can see over here quite clearly how it is the Dark struggled so much this game. He lost so much in terms of military, in terms of economy. He had to replenish for so much. Not just for the units, but also the castles, right? Total of 4 castles for Dark. At the very end, a total of 1 castle only. He did have to replenish, or he did have to rebuild the castles as they went down, you know, initially. And in the end, it was too expensive for Dark to keep up. And there we are. Let's switch Dark back to the red color once again. And welcome everyone to the second game of the series display. All 3 set between BacT and Dark. What do we have? BacT is going to be playing with Britons on the left-hand side, and Dark is playing with Hindustanis on the right-hand side. These are definitely not the most common arena civilizations, for sure. Well, Britons are going to be a fairly common one. Definitely not what we have seen for the most part, right? Dominated by the Bohemians, the Poles, even Burgundians. I think we have seen more. The Britons, and of course the Turks. But yeah, Britons. Will be pretty good for sure. Against Hindustanis, well, we'll see what we get, right? Hindustanis back in the day, before the Genesis of India, the DLC came out, when we just had the Indians. They will struggle very much against these ranged civilizations, but now with access to Gulam, that's not necessarily going to be the case anymore, and I guess we are going to see. For the civilizations, BacT on the left-hand side with the Britons is going to get 1 and 2 extra range on foot archer units in the castle and Imperial Ages, except for skirmisher units. With the Britons, it's also going to have 25% faster working shepherds, in addition to a 50% wood discount on TC starting in the castle age, and for the team bonus, their archer ranges work 20% faster. Dark instead, playing with the Hindustanis, is going to get 10, 15, 20, 25% cheaper villagers in the Dark Feudal Castle and Imperial Ages, in addition to 25% faster attacking camels. We're gonna have also for the Hindustanis +1/+1 armor and gunpowder units, and for the team bonus, they're gonna have 2 bonus damage against buildings from camel, light cavalry, and hussar type units. There we are. Good job from Dark. Also, he did manage to steal some of the goats from BacT. Actually, some of the pigs from BacT. 2 of these are going back to Dark's base, and BacT, I don't think. Yeah, he's got the scout on the back, right? So he won't be able to go for like a counter steal or something. On this map, we can take a look at the map generation. That's going to be a lot more relevant compared to the previous one. Oh, but wait a moment. Dark is going full lame. He's taken 2 pigs already. And now he's going to... Oh, God. He tried to embark on the longest lame that I had ever seen, all the way around the circle. Is he going to try again? Well, the villager from BacT is going back to try and collect the boar. And Dark can see the boar over here, so he's gonna try. He's gonna try. He's gonna try. He's not gonna try. No, he's not going to try. He's gonna try and block the villager. Very unlikely he'll be able to do it. So the boar is yeah, just going to be collected by BacT. That would have been interesting to see, because Dark, such a long distance to travel, was going to have to pay attention, right, to the scout at all times, and that could have been pretty difficult. What is Dark doing? What? Why? Did he misclick? He should have known the TC was there. That does not seem good at all, right? Like, he saw the board go to this direction through the fog board. He should have seen the TC in the end. Yeah, he just kind of throws the scout over to the TC. I'm not really sure what that was about. Well, up in the north, it's going to be BacT now, finding where Dark is, and Dark's villager actually does not have loom, so BacT might actually be able to get the villager down. It's got the heal advantage. There we go. Nice. You know, and if he plays his cards right, yeah, he could even take a second village down from Dark. Just gotta be careful. Got 2 villagers right now for Dark as well. Just not used to the Xbox controller yet. Have you guys been watching some Xbox gameplay? What do you think about it? I was taking a look at the leaderboard yesterday, and there weren't really a ton of people over there. You gotta keep in mind, you do need to play at the very least 10 games for placements, right? But I think there were only like 110 people or so on the leaderboard. The game's been out for 1 day only, of course, on console. And it's a completely new controller paradigm, so obviously it's going to take some time for people to actually get used to it and get comfortable enough to want to play competitive Age of Empires with controller. But yeah, from the people that seem to just be willing to jump into it right away, we only have about 110 people or so after the first day. I observed Ruben, the Max, and Jupe watching the Spirit of the Law video. Ruben was incapable of talking through the laughter. Ah, I see, so it's that kind of... Okay, okay. Was that on whose stream? Let's take a look at the map generation though. As I say we would. Starting with a bull player, what do we get? We're gonna have on the left hand side the main gold on the back. We're gonna have the secondary gold on the right hand side. It's going to be outside the walls, of course, and then the other secondary goal is going to be towards the northwest. There you are. And then the stone, well, we're going to have the main stone forward, close to the wall over here. He's not going to have to worry about any of that because, you know, Dark does not have a scout, so it doesn't matter if the resources are forward, they're exposed, they could potentially get, you know, like group targeted. And then the secondary stone is going to be outside the walls as well. While if we take a look at Dark's map generation, we're gonna see that he's got the main gold forward. Now this could be catastrophic. He does have another gold up in the north, and we're gonna see the main stone on the back. We're gonna see the secondary stone outside, the secondary gold outside as well. But yeah, you know, depending on how BacT gets his scouting going, he could potentially get vision of this gold, and if for whatever reason at some point later in the game, not necessarily right away after going to the castle age, but if at some point he decided to go for a forward castle and he got vision of this gold, that will allow him to place the castle in a position that he will be able to deny all 3 resources with a single fortification. I think that's a lot of idle from BacT for a close map. That is true, yes. 1 minute of idle decent time over here is not ideal. It seems like he was just trying to rush the castle H a little bit, but this is going to result in him falling behind by about 3 villagers or so. Well, it has resulted in him falling behind by about 3 villagers actually, but of course, the whole point for him is if he can get to the castle H, if he can get the extra TCs up and get production going right away, then he should be able to catch up for those. Is that better than actually going up a little bit later, but without idle TC time? Well, it really depends on how much later, right? each 25 seconds that you have a head start to the Castle Age, assuming that you're able to go for the 2 TCs right away and produce from those, will equal to getting ahead by 2 villagers. Or getting 2 extra villagers out compared to your opponent in any case, before they're able to get their own TCs up. Did you pace? Like an hour ago? I see. Yeah, I'm pretty curious as to how it's going to work. After the last stream, when we raided the Xbox channel, I actually stayed there for a little while. I watched the rest of the stream and I was asking a bunch of questions regarding how, you know, the console version was going to work. One thing that I did not get an answer for though was what is the difference between the Series X and Series S versions, right? Because I think everything that they were showcasing was for Series X. It's just not as high resolution. I don't know. But yeah, I do like though the amount of thought that they put into the different like control schemes, all the attention to detail they had. When you compare that to the console adaptation, the last console adaptation we saw for Age of Empires 2, I'm talking about like a standard full-size console, right? The PS2 back in the day. This version seems to be so much better thought. It seems like so much more time went into it. And we'll see. One of the things that they can do is it is possible for console players to play against PC players as well if you enable crossplay. That would require a level of confidence and controller mastery that I don't think anybody possesses right now. And most likely anybody trying to play with a controller against a PC player is just going to get absolutely obliterated. But yeah, that's why we have a different leaderboard, right? There is a controller leaderboard, there is a keyboard and mouse leaderboard. And it is possible to connect the mouse and a keyboard to your Xbox console and play it as if it were the PC version, and you would be getting matched against keyboard and mouse players. But I believe the UI still stays very similar to what it is like for controller anyway, even if you hook up the keyboard and the mouse. But yeah, there are still a few answers that I'm waiting for, but I guess I could probably just do some Googling around, given that the game is already out. Shouldn't be too difficult to find the answers I like to see. Relics coming in now for BacT. That's going to be the second one. He is the only player who's been collecting relics for the most part. At the center, we're going to have the standard 5 relics. And then outside, we're going to have the standard 4 relics for this map. However, the distribution of the relics outside is actually different compared to what we saw before. Up in the north, there is 1 relic, and then down the south towards the southeast, we're going to have 3 relics, right? As opposed to 2 and 2, which is usually the way it goes. Now let's take a look at this. Dark's bringing the scout. There are 3 monks over there. He knows better than to try. And it's not the monks, we have the archers. 3 monks will surely convert the scout. Yeah, and BacT is going after the next relic. That's going to be the 3rd relic for him. He's got 3 monks. There are 3 relics left. So he's going after the 3rd relic. He's going back home. We have 2 scouts for Dark. He's going for the light cavalry upgrade though. Is that going to finish in time? He's got to wait 25 seconds. The scouts are here. The archers are there. Now the busy in control of scouts from Dark once again after having lost the scout to the TC earlier. You would expect him to, yeah, take care of the units a little bit better, right? But that's 1 scout going down for free to the archers. He's got a light cavalry upgrade right now, and the archers are trying to block the scout. They're not going to be able to do it, but they will take the scout down, though. And the form of light cavalry is still not going to be enough for Dark to take the monk down. BacT's gotten Sanctity already. If he hadn't gotten it, that monk would definitely have gone down. And now we're going to have only 1 light cavalry out for Dark in the center. Actually, I'm lying. That's going to be 2. But BacT's going after the final few relics, and it seems to me like he should be able to get away with it, right? He's got extra archers on the way. And he should bring the monk over. I think he's sending the monk over the left-hand side, probably to try and gather the one up in the north, or potentially the one the ones down the south. Dark, he will be the first player to actually go and collect one of the outer relics. There are still 3 left for grabs, and BacT. Yeah, BacT is going back with the 4th relic from the center. So Dark is collecting 1 from the center, the remaining 1. The 1 from the outside, right? So that's going to be 2 relics for him. He's guarding this one. He's going to go and collect it as well. So that's going to be 3 relics for Dark. We have 4 relics for BacT. And there are 2 remaining relics for, for grabs. Imagine a share leaderboard. Well, that's what happens if you enable crossplay. Right? If you're playing controller and you enable crossplay, you will get matched. And you will be probably playing in the keyboard and mouse leaderboard. Even if you use a controller. Because that's the only one that PC players will be able to participate in, right? Like, it wouldn't make sense for PC players to enable crossplay and then participate in the controller leaderboard because there is no controller support for the PC version. Interestingly enough, I think that's definitely something they should have had, at release already, but it's not there, and they say it's subject to feedback. So if people are asking for it, it's going to be possible. Otherwise, you can still play with controller on your computer, but not on the local install, right? You're gonna have to use Xbox Cloud Gaming. Which I have to say I enjoyed a lot when I tried it myself. Even with Argentina's massive ping to the servers. Yeah, it was pretty good. After a little while, you kind of forget about it. Get used to it. It's kind of like those old FPS games. Remember back in the day when multiplayer wouldn't have any sort of prediction systems at all, and then you would actually, depending on the lag, you would have to aim in front of the enemies to land the shots. It's kind of like that. You kind of get used to lag, you kind of get used to it and forget about it. You can still enjoy it. Obviously you wouldn't want to compete on that, but if you just want to cruise the campaigns, for instance, you can do that on your computer, your TV, right, with a controller, on your phone with a controller adapter as well. Imperial Lich on the way for Dark and BacT. BacT should be on his way to the Imperial Lich very soon. The worker count is a little higher for the red player. He has gotten away with getting the 4th EC up a little bit earlier compared to BacT, so this is what allows him to get ahead, right, in worker count. And there's also the fact that BacT's gotten a little bit of extra LTC time compared to Dark. So no wonder there are 10 extra workers for Dark right now. Here we go. Dark's trying to breach through. BacT doesn't really struggle too much to defend himself. He's paying attention though. BacT's gotta pay attention. BacT's gotta pay attention. The gate is going down on the left hand side. It is going down. Yes sir. And here come the light cavalry. Now it's Dark's opportunity to punish the blue player. We're gonna see a bunch of villagers go down right away to the Cavalier. Went up in the north. We had the extra Cavalier trying to breach through over here, and it seems like they might actually be able to do it, right? It seems like they are going to come in. They're going to come in! And now, BacT has gotten breached. Down the top, and he realizes about it after having taken so many losses already. Going down to less than 20, or more than 20 fewer villagers compared to Dark, and he's getting breached up in the north as well. We have some extra light cavalry commoner from Dark is going to try to get the damage down. Of course, with pikemen here, Dark should be able to defend up in the north at the very least, and down the south. He is going to clean up the units from Dark. He does need to come over and finish well on this up. Meanwhile, Imperial Lich is already here, and we see Dark going for Hussar. Plate Barden armor in trebuchets. He's got a castle in front. The second castle is on the way. BacT's got one castle at the center. He's got the second castle on the way as well. It's gonna be the first one to try and make use of the Trev still. BacT doesn't really have any sort of military presence at the center. At the very least, he didn't have any military presence close to the very center of the map. Now he's bringing the crossbows. Here we are. Beautiful. Castle goes down for BacT and Dark. Dark seems to be able to take advantage of his home map really well. He's been the one doing the most damage so far. While the KD is about the same, Dark's secret KD is so much better, and it's quite clear that Dark was the one getting the better deal. Yeah, and BacT's getting surrounded. Around the trebuchets, he's going to end up calling the GG before the castle crumbles, before Dark is able to come in, and that's gonna leave the series in a 1-1 result. We're waiting for game number 3 then, to determine who will be taking the set. My prediction was 2-1 in favor of BacT, and game number 3 is going to take place on his home map, so we'll see what we get. Let's take a look at the achievements. Very good for Dark overall in terms of KD. He approaches a 4-3 KD ratio, which is very nice. For economy, we have a stronger economy for Dark as well, collecting close to 7,000 extra resources. For society, we're going to see a higher villager max count for Dark as well. In the end, it's going to be about 28 extra workers that he got at one point in time. He ended up losing 3 villagers throughout the game. BacT ended up losing about 12 villagers over there. Doesn't seem like a massive amount, but it was higher actually than 10% what BacT went for total, right? So it's no peanuts either. And the final game of the series is here, guys. Dark versus BacT in the red and blue colors on the left and right hand sides, and cross for game number 3. They're going to be playing with the Japanese and the Lithuanians respectively. On the right hand side, BacT will have 150 extra food upon starting the game. In addition to 10% faster movement skirm spearline units, it's going to have also 1 extra attack on knights and light units per each relic garrison, up to 4 relics out to +4 attack. The team bonus will make the Lithuanians also, their monasteries will work 20% faster, while for Dark on the other hand, for the Japanese, we'll get first off 5, 10, 15 and 20% faster working patient ships. They're gonna have, in addition to that, twice the HP and +2 pierce armor on those fishing ships, while for the team bonus, they're gonna have galleys with 50% extra line of sight. That is not going to be all of it though. Dark Civilization also gets 33% faster attacking infantry starting in the field age, in addition to a 50% discount on drop of buildings. Jumping in, yes. Hey Dancer. Hi, hi. Oh, back to skin some of the geese. Dark realizes Takes those back. Let's see if BacT is gonna be willing to engage in a little skirmish over the geese. It seems like that's not the case. No, it's just going back. Yeah, and he knows where the boar is. The boar is uphill. It'd be very awkward for BacT to try and get the lane going like that. So he's just going back. He's kind of contenting himself with some scouting information, right? That's good still. He knows where Dark is. I don't think that's the case so much the other way around, right? Yeah, it's not. Right hand side. Duck's already up for BacT. Down the south. Yeah, Duck's already up for Dark. So we talked about the civilizations. As for the maps, BacT is going to be kind of close to the corner of the map. So he's got the main goal on the back. He's got the secondary gold towards the south on the TC. But most importantly, because he's kind of close to the corner of the map, it shouldn't be too difficult for him to protect these resources, going for some walls from here to here, right? Here to here, here to here, and here to here. He would be able to secure the entire pond. He would be able to secure 1, 2 lines, as a matter of fact. But yeah, not the secondary gold over here. The main goal will be part of the walls, unless he went for something like this, right? Around it. But just being close to the corner of the map means that it's going to be much easier for BacT compared to if you were closer to the center, right? To, at the very least, wall himself in completely. If you take a look at Dark's map generation, Dark's going to be much closer to the center, right? He is, like, dead in the middle of both these ponds. So he's quite literally at center, and the main goal for him is going to be up in the north. It's kind of exposed. We have the secondary goal on the left-hand side. We have the main stone on the right-hand side, and the secondary goal is going to be on the right-hand side, very far away. But this goal over here on the back is good, so long as he's actually able to protect it. But because of the way that the map generates for Dark, I guess probably the cheapest way for him to secure this will be to go for walls from here towards the pond, from here to here. And then maybe try to wall towards the corner of the map. If he were able to get away with this, he would actually be able to secure the entire pond. That is not necessarily something you'll be able to do when spawning in the middle of both ponds, right? Usually it's going to be more like this. But yeah, it's certainly going to be a possibility for him. Now, you might realize about BacT's villager over here already. And yeah, what do we get for Mr. BacT? He's going for the walls around the goal from Dark. And this is so good. He's going to be the first player going out to the fuel H as well. Manages to get a quick walls around the villager too. Well done. Oh, but the walls go down. And BacT's villager is going to be exposed. It seems like it's going down now. The scout's trying to body block, but the scout's very low HP as well. So he cannot really stand over there for very long. Yes, yes, yes. And BacT manages to quick wall the villager at the last second. But he misses one time though, and the villager goes down in the end. However, BacT didn't go down without a fight. He was able to get the scout down. From Dark, that is not too bad. That is not too shabby. Now, the fuel is here for BacT. He brought the scout over. He was trying to get some damage over there. He wasn't able to do it. However, he still managed to get yet another villager down to the south. He managed to get another building up. He managed to get the dock up down the south. Well, Dark, on the other hand, not so much. There you are. We have the militias coming over right now from Dark as well, down the south. Now my question is though, did he know about this? Did he? He probably realized with a fishing ship, I think. He's got fire galleys on the way, and he's got 2 docks. So yeah, this is something that he was already aware of. So he brought the militias over, and BacT gets away with the quick walls. This time around though, he's not taking any chances with palisades. No, he's just going for the stone walls. Villager surrounding itself. And the fire galley comes out for BacT, but Dark's got double dock production and shouldn't really struggle to defend over here. Doesn't seem to me like he will. So long as Dark plays his cards right, he's going to hold on to the south. Oh, hold on though. BacT did go for a second dock himself. Okay, this is good. Meanwhile, Dark is going for a sneaky dock himself. He's got a second dock on the way on the right hand side, and BacT should be aware of this. And he's not! He's not! BacT was trying to actively scout the docks over there, but he couldn't find anything, so he doesn't know about the forward sneak from Dark, and this will be so good for the red player. You know, my prediction for the series was probably 2-1, maybe even 3-0 for BacT. Seems like I was pretty heavily underestimated Dark. Well, to be fair, this isn't really Dark's like genius play, as it's BacT's bad luck not to scout this. He did go over there. He could have done a little bit of a better job scouting and potentially would have been able to prevent, you know, taking too many losses over here. But as things stand, it seems like BacT will and not going to push away from the right hand side pond. It seems like he is going to get pushed away from the south pond, or at the very least he's going to struggle to get any meaningful damage done over here. Yeah, now we're gonna see BacT try to get some pressure going on land. He's going for archers. Can't really do much of anything yet. The fishing ships are going down for BacT on the right hand side. He doesn't even try to go for a fire galley. He probably realizes there's no way back for him over there. Meanwhile, down south, well, Dark's got, yeah, still enough units coming out. He should be able to hold on against BacT, but he is taking a lot of hit himself. Let's take a look. Nice shot! And the fishing ships will still crumble over here. And BacT still looks stronger for military. Count down the south. Yeah, but even if BacT ends up losing, or sorry, even if Dark ends up losing both these remaining fishing ships to BacT's units, right? It's not going to be the end of anything for Dark. He's got on the left hand side another pond under control, and that's going to be 2 out of 3 ponds that players have gone for in favor of Dark, so it's not too bad. One villager did go down down the south over here, very close to the wood line. You can probably see the remnants over there. But yeah, nice villager pick. Another one going down for Dark. Still ahead though in worker count because of the fishing ships. And BacT, just like in game number 2, seems to be struggling for idle TC time, right? So much higher compared to Dark's. Now this is not good though. Dark cannot really afford right now to be taking these losses. He's managed to get a lead for himself for economy, and if he ends up losing a significant amount of villagers over here, he kind of gives that up in a sense. He's gonna start going for some scouts himself. He's gonna try and go for the north pond as well. That's gonna be 3 out of 4 ponds under control for Dark, and to be honest, it might not be just 3 out of 4. It can probably end up being 4 out of 4 because Dark has actually not really gotten pushed away from the south yet. He's got a demolition raft, extra fire galleys on the way from the south. And BacT, he's got extra fire galleys on the way as well. He's got 1 left. Yeah, and the one down south definitely highly contested still. But Dark Well, Dark's got 1, 2 pawns completely safe, and then this one is going to be completely safe right now as well, so it's looking good for the Russian player. It's gonna be on his way to the castle age very soon as well, starting to make a play for land himself, going for the archer range. Does he have vision of the archers? Yes, he's got vision of the archers. The quick walls are coming out right now for him as well. Bunch of villagers coming over together to get the walls up. There we are. Beautiful. Castle Age is on the way for Dark indeed. And BacT will... He's still trying to hold on to the south. He's got 4 Navy units, 2 more on the way. Dark's got 3 right now, 1 more on the way. And here comes BacT. Yeah, and Dark's going to go over for the demo. BacT's not paying attention, but to be fair, Dark's shot over there could have been a little bit better. Oh, sneaky stables from Dark. He still had the villager alive on the right hand side, and in BacT, well, BacT, you know, on paper he's got vision of this. At the very least, he can see one of the stables coming up, and Dark's going for bloodlines. So he gets to the castle, he's just gonna start pumping scouts, or knights rather, and BacT's gonna have to go for some quick walls over here, right, to try and prevent the knights from coming in straight into his economy, but it's still going to be dependent on how much attention he's paying. There's villagers going down, but he will spot the sneaky dog coming up from BacT, and he should have had enough time to react, and he has. So he's got the fire galley coming out. The dog's still coming out though, but at the very least, Dark's going to have a hit start in production, especially if BacT is going to go for a second dog. The castle is here. Dark's going to start going for knights over there. Archers are coming over from BacT. Dark does not seem to be paying attention too much. These are fletching archers, so they will take the villagers down without too many issues, and that's gonna be a lot of villagers going down for Dark. Yes, sir. And the worker lead that the red player was able to build for himself is going to get reduced a little bit over there, but now the knight's coming out, and eventually those archers will go down. So the best thing that Dark can do, the best thing that BacT can do rather, is just try to trade for villagers, right? And he will take yet another one, but the archers do end up getting cleaned up. And on the back of BacT's base though, we have the knights coming over around the wool line from BacT. And this is what I was talking about earlier. If he had vision of the stable and he didn't realize about it, that puts BacT in a very compromising situation after all. Now the knights are coming in from Dark, and that was not necessarily going to be the case if BacT was paying attention to his vision, right? He would have been able to get some quick walls up and prevent the units from just coming in and getting free damage. But that does result in a lot of extra villages going down from BacT, so many so that Dark is able to almost equalize the eco KD. When he's got a TC working for significantly longer than BacT, when he's got in control of 3 out of 4 pawns, shouldn't surprise anybody that BacT has fallen behind in work count compared to Dark. But yeah. There we go, we have some extra nice still from Dark. Kind of loose on the back of BacT's base. He's going after the crossbows. We don't have chain bar in armor for these guys yet, so they are not quite as resilient as they could be. And they will go down to the TC. But the damage is still pouring in, and Dark can still keep on going for more knights. So long as he's able to afford these, it's gonna be able to get more damage done, right? Take a look at BacT's economy. The worker efficiency in the last minute has gone down to less than 20% for a moment over there. Now he's going to try and get this one back up. That is just incredible for Dark. And he's looking so much stronger in this game, guys. He's taking full advantage of the pawn up in the north. That's going to leave him with 3 out of 4 pawns under his full control. The much stronger economy he's got to work with right now compared to BacT. He should be able to sustain knight production, and he's going to continue pouring the units in. And, you know, BacT's got some crossbows. He's got 1 monk. But he doesn't even have enough resources to reseat the farms right now. That's how precarious BacT's economy is. He's got just 2 fishing ships as well. The only pond that he was able to get for himself. And Dark is in a completely different position. He's producing knights from up to 3 stables at a time. He's go for chain barded armor as well, but even with scale barded armor, these guys are going to be pretty strong so long as the numbers are good. And the numbers are going to be good as the knights get the monk down before the conversions. 1 conversion will connect though with the second monk over there, but BacT ultimately does end up losing both the monks, and that is a lot of knights in the back of BacT's base, prompting his villagers away from gold, away from the few resources he actually still have access to. And yeah, he just goes on and calls a GG. So BacT will end up losing the series against Dark, and my boy Dark takes a set over here with a final score of 2-1. Against my prediction, to be honest and reiterating that. Let's take a look at the achievements one more time before going back and seeing what we get for the next series, right? But there's a very good KD ratio for Dark. About 6-5, he needed to get a good KD given the cost of the units he was going for. Besides that, we have a stronger economy for Dark. By a lot, we see for Society, much higher villager max count for Dark as well, and overall this game was pretty dominating from the Russian player. Well done. Dark 2, BacT 1. Let's go back and try to figure out what the standings are looking like, shall we? Yes, sir. Let's do that. All right. So this was for Group B. And that group is going to have Mysterio still leading the pack with 4 series out of 4 series going his way. And we're going to see Dark on 4 sets over here. I think this is updated already, right? Let's take a look at the matchup information over here. BacT versus Dark. Yes, this is already updated. So Dark is going to overtake BacT over here. BacT had lost 2 series. He had won 1. Dark was in the similar position as well, having lost 2 series and having won 1. He was significantly lower in points compared to BacT though, but now we're going to have 4 players at 4 points with BacT, MBL, Dark, and Leary all tied for 4 points, but not in the same manner. BacT and Dark, they're probably looking the roughest as they have played 4 out of 5 sets already, while Leary, who's got 4 points, has gotten 4 points out of 2 sets, and he still needs to play 3 sets, 3 remaining ones. Then we're gonna see MBL, he's played 3 sets, he's got to play 2 remaining sets as well, so we might have Leary and MBL also on 4 points, but compared to Dark and BacT, they do have at the very least 1 extra series to go through, so the chances of them getting a higher final score are certainly a little bit higher. And yeah, for the time being, Draken's going to survive in second place, and Mysterio is going to remain first, of course. So we'll see, right? I guess. For the time being,